So Nathan, it's a 3-1 defeat here against Stafford Rangers. A poor day at the office there.
You could say that, yeah. It was that was probably the poorest we've been this season. In the first probably 10 minutes where we started really lively. I think when that first goal went in, it changed the game a little bit, and we just seemed to we weren't winning first balls, we weren't winning second balls, and they're well worthy of the 3-1 win.
And just look at that first goal in particular, it seemed very easy there, just from a long throw in and pretty much a free header from him, just to head home that one.
Yeah, well, it's not something you can really work on. The direct, the put the throws in. It's good quality, but you've just got to deal with that, and it's a free header, which is unacceptable. But they've scored, but at that we've come back into the game and scored, I think, within 5 minutes. So, but no, it was a poor goal.
Yeah, and you mentioned about the speed of Whitby getting themselves level. If we were going to go and get anything, I suppose that was always going to be key to get that goal. So you must be disappointed in the fact that Whitby couldn't then push on after Jacob Hazel finished that one there.
No, I certainly thought that the way we started the game and we got the game to 1-1 with it was a decent goal. I thought from that point we're in a strong position to go on and be strong at home like we have been. But we just didn't put a performance in, and it's disappointing. But it wasn't a case of us being competitive. There was too many lads off the game today. I could only pick a couple of our lads out, and Johnny Byrne and Priestley who've done the basics right. At that you're going to struggle with any games if people aren't on the game.
No. And Stafford getting themselves back in front through a penalty. Soft, I think, is a fair way to put that one.
Soft, but very poor from our point of view. The ball's gone forward instead of pushing forward as a basic rule as a back line. We've stayed deep. The ball's come back in. Their player was onside and we've clattered into him. It's our normal approach to that would have been offside. It's as simple as that if we'd have done the basics right and moved forward. So yeah, it was another disappointing goal.
Yeah, and then before the break, Whitby really struggling to create a chance, and that theme continued throughout the second half really. So it seemed just almost frustration for a lot of the players, the fact they couldn't get into those areas to try and get some shots away.
It was frustrating. It was certainly frustrating from the side. But you can only be frustrated if you're doing the right things. And we weren't doing the right things again. I'll keep mentioning the basics. We reverted to direct long balls, which is what they're like. They were picking second balls up, and there was just no kind of creation amongst us. So again, obviously we're disappointed, but you can't dwell on it too much. There's another game next week, and it's very rare that we put a performance in like that.
Yeah, and then Stafford further, I suppose it's just a case of it. It's one of those where Whitby obviously struggling to create, but you think we'll only might take one chance to get back into it. That really killed the game off, that free kick.
Yeah, it did. It always takes a chance, one chance to score a goal, but we often we just didn't create. Even at 2-1, they've scored the free kick that as good as well. It buried the game for them, but we were really poor second half, and even in the first half, probably the last 20-25 minutes of that half, we just weren't at the races. So we've had a conversation in the changing rooms, and it's something we need to reflect on. We need to look at some things in training next week. But we won't be putting another performance in like that, that's for sure.
And then just looking ahead to next Saturday against Shildon in the FA Trophy, and obviously after FA Cup run coming to an end, you'll be desperate, I'm sure, for running that competition. But obviously, saw in pre-season how good the side Shildon can be.
Shildon are a very good team, and they're doing well in the league below. Know everything about Shildon. They're obviously a team I'm very familiar with. Obviously, it's a team from lower, but for them, obviously, they're going to raise the game. But you're right. It's a game. Obviously, we want to win. We want to do well in the trophy if we can. But we're going to be in for an hard game, especially at Dean Street. It's somewhere where they're really strong. I don't think they've lost there this season. So yeah, we obviously need to patch ourselves up and get ready for a tough tie.
Yeah, and one thing as well that you might have to take from that FA Cup run was the Warrington Rhinos game, for example, where first half a case of trying to suss out the opposition, but second half just being professional, really showing the difference in class and the league gap there as well. Yeah,
I mean, Warrington Rhinos was a while back now. The Shildon have got a bit of class. It's one of them for us. There's a lot of class in the team. There's a lot of quality in the team, but we'd struggle to beat any team probably a level or two levels low if we played like we did today. Again, we've got to get back to basics. We've got to do the basics well, and when we do that as a team and as a group of players, we win football matches. So that's what we need to do.
Thanks, Nathan.
Cheers.